Well, here we are. I've done over 80 episodes of the Stories from the Midland podcast, and hopefully I've learned something about the history of Teller County and the surrounding areas. So as we get into this, the Stories from the Midland video channel, I thought I'd put together an overview based on what I've been able to glean over the last couple of years. I would love to receive your feedback and thoughts in this video's comment section. Also, on the website storiesfromthemidland.com is a contact page you can use to reach out to us. And of course, you can always reach out to us on our Facebook page. I'll leave links in this video's description. Welcome to Stories from the Midland, a collection of historic tales from Teller County and the surrounding areas. I'm Tommy Allen, and in this episode, I'm giving you a quick primer on Teller County. So with so very much to tell, this will be little more than a familiarization onto which we will build our knowledge together with each succeeding episode. Plain and simple, Teller County was created because of the Cripple Creek Gold District on March 23, 1899. The land it encompasses was originally made up of parts of El Paso and Fremont counties, but the people that lived in the Gold District became frustrated with all of the taxes being collected from all of that gold going down to Colorado Springs, where little benefit was returned to them. As you can imagine, Colorado Springs applied significant political pressure to keep this from happening. Of course, it didn't work. Teller County is named for Henry M. Teller, who served as a U.S. Senator from Colorado between 1876 and 1882 as Secretary of the Interior from 1882 to 1885, and again as U.S. Senator from 1885 to 1909. But really, the region's path to countyhood was set when a determined yet misunderstood cowboy named Bob Womack discovered gold-bearing float in a tributary that would become known as Cripple Creek in 1878. Gold mines began to spring up and eventually made the Cripple Creek Gold District one of the highest gold-producing places in the world. With the gold mines came mining towns. The largest was Cripple Creek, which would become the county seat. Next in size was the city of Victor, founded by the Woods brothers. Near Victor was the more family-oriented town of Goldfield. And throughout the district were scattered mining towns, many with names still locally well-known like Anaconda, Cameron, and Independence, just to name a few. To support the gold mining, timber, food, and other necessities were produced to the north and west of the district in places like Midland, Woodland Park, Divide, and Florissant, as well as in South Park County in places like Halbert, which, by the way, is now at the bottom of 11 Mile Reservoir, Lake George, and Hartselle. Of course, waypoints and vacation spots were scattered along the way, like Green Mountain Falls, Edlow, and Gillette. To get to the Gold District, the primary route was out of Colorado Springs, up an old Native American trail called Ute Pass. From what we now refer to as Old Colorado City, Ute Pass headed up the eastern slope of Pikes Peak, past Manitou Springs, Christola, Chipeta Park, and Green Mountain Falls before turning west in Woodland Park to continue to climb around the peak's northern slope, past Edlow and into Divide. From Divide, travelers bound for the Gold District could either turn south to travel along present-day Highway 67, or they could continue westward to Florissant and turn south to travel what is now Teller 1. In the earliest days of developing the Gold District, travel was primarily on horseback, that's how Bob Womack got here, or by coach. But it didn't take long for the railroad to come. This began with the Colorado Midland Railway, which was the first to muscle its way over the Continental Divide on its way to Leadville in 1887. The CM climbed Ute Pass from Colorado Springs, through Woodland Park and Divide, and into Florissant before continuing on to the west. It served as a major artery for the transportation of gold and supplies, but it didn't actually get to where the gold was. Gold ore was transported to the railroad by coach or wagon before being loaded onto train cars in Divide and Florissant bound for the mills in Colorado Springs. And the reverse was true for people and supplies being transported into the Gold District. The first to solve this transportation shortcoming was the Florence and Cripple Creek Railroad that ascended from the Denver and Rio Grande Depot in Florence up Phantom Canyon and into the Gold District. The second was the Midland Terminal Railway, which originated at the depot and divide and headed southward along present-day Highway 67. And the third was the Colorado Springs and Cripple Creek District Railway, typically referred to as the Short Line, that started in Colorado Springs and ascended Pikes Peak's southern slope along much of what is now Gold Camp Road. Investment in the Cripple Creek mines came from around the world, but the district's first homegrown millionaire was an ascetic and philanthropic man named Winfield Scott Stratton, who, most notably, discovered and developed the Independence Mine. Other big names from the area were Jimmy Burns and Jimmy Doyle, who became rich and powerful with the Portland collection of mines as a result of facing down legal persecution, and the Woods family, who founded the city of Victor and the town of Cameron. And many other big names, actors and actresses, athletes and lawmen, politicians and criminals, lived in or came through the area. Cripple Creek saw two major labor strikes. The first was in 1894 in response to severely unfair treatment of miners by mine owners when they demanded longer workdays for the same or less pay. The second and more significantly violent was the bloody uprising that started in 1903 when the Western Federation of Miners Union employed terrorism tactics to expand their power base. World War I was hard on the Gold District as men, materials, and priorities were shifted towards the war effort. The railroad suffered significantly during the war as the federal government asserted control over and badly abused and then neglected the rail system. After World War I, the mining continued, but higher operating costs were taking their toll, and by World War II, many of the mines were closed or in serious trouble. Cities and towns in and around the Gold District were either losing most of their residents or were being abandoned completely. Over time, the mines were consolidated into what is now the Cripple Creek and Victor Gold Mining Company. Cripple Creek, no longer the gold mining power it once was, had to find a new way. And in 1991, gambling was legalized in the city. Casinos began to occupy many of the historic buildings, and the residents used this opportunity to establish Cripple Creek as a tourism destination that includes art, culture, and history in addition to its games of chance. And while Victor didn't follow in legalizing gambling, it is also a great place to visit for art, culture, and history. After the railroads closed down in the middle of the 20th century, their rail beds were converted to a series of roads and highways. Woodland Park grew in prominence and population due to the very busy Highway 24 climbing Ute Pass along the old Colorado Midland rail bed and passing right through the middle of it. Cripple Creek remains the county seat where the courthouse and primary offices of most of the county's elected officials are located. The exception is the sheriff's office, which is now located in the Schumacher building in Divide. Goldfield, Divide, and Florissant are unincorporated bedroom communities, and Green Mountain Falls is a statutory town on the border of Teller and El Paso counties. Now that brings us to modern-day Teller County. So, if you would like to join us on our journey through its history and that of the surrounding areas, let me invite you to subscribe to this channel and, should you choose, hit that notification bell. And if you enjoyed today's video, click the like button. Thank you for joining me. I'm Tommy Allen, and I hope you have a great day. And should you find yourself looking for history and culture among some of Colorado's beautiful scenery, come up to Teller County and have yourself a look around. I look forward to having you join me next time for more stories from the Midland. World War I was hard on the Gold District as men, material, and parodies. Men, material, and parodies. Cripple Creek saw two major labor strikes. The first was in 1884. Need some of this. Ha! The exception is the sheriff's office, which is now located in the Schumacher building in Divide. All right. Well, here we are. I've done over 80 episodes of Stories from the Midland podcast. Oh, nope. Boop. Start over again.